the dog was getting more and more and more sickly, getting so that he didn't have any teeth left, and he limped, and the dog was in terrible, terrible shape. So they finally came to the conclusion that they'd have to get rid of the dog. Now, in those days, nobody took a pet into a vet to give them $135 to get a shot that, how they say, put them down. Put them down bullshit. They bring their pet into the vet for the vet to kill the pet, you know. But at any rate, they decided they had to get rid of the dog. Nobody had the heart to shoot the dog, look the dog in its pitiful eyes and blow its brains out. Didn't have the heart to do that. And those were back in the days that every farmhouse had dynamite. But at any rate, so they took a stick of dynamite, took the dog out into the woods just behind the barn, tied the dog to a tree with a rope around his neck, tied a stick of dynamite around the dog's neck, put a real long fuse on it because they didn't want to see anything happen. They wanted plenty of time to get home. Put a long fuse on the dynamite, put a cap in it, put a long fuse on, lit the fuse, and then we're walking home. They were going to go home and lamenting and feeling sad about the dog until they hear thudum, 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 and they look behind and here the dog had got loose from the tree, and the dog is coming running to catch up with them with the smoking dynamite swinging underneath his neck. So now, in spite of their age, they ran for the barn. And they got in the barn and slammed it was the Dutch-type doors. You had upper and lower doors. Slammed the lower door shut. The dog came trying to get in with the burning dynamite. They yelled at him, get out of here. And the dog, now chagrined, always stayed under the porch. They had a porch attached to the house, and it was open underneath. And that's where the dog slept, was under the porch, in the summertime at least. So he felt really bad. The dog felt bad about being yelled at. So he crawled under the porch, and there somehow the rope was, not tight around his neck. They didn't want to choke the poor dog. And so he got the rope off his head and crawled out the other side and left the dynamite behind underneath the porch. And the woman who was in the house, either sister or wife, whatever she was just going to go out on the porch and had the door knob in her hand when the dynamite went off. And it blew the porch right off the house and blew the door in, and she fell backwards and broke her wrist. So she had to go to the doctor and get a cast put on her wrist, and the dog died of old age.